guys, welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we are on Friday the 28th of October 2016 and busy day answering all your questions. I'm really sorry if I don't answer everybody personally, but literally I don't know, we've got like 400 or 500 messages now. It's absolutely gone viral and virtual, everything we've spoken about at the beginning of the week, but that is now technically, as my mum would say, last week's chip papers, which basically means in the past. We're going to move on from it now, and we're not going to spend any more time rabbiting on about that. Okay, so today is going to be something I haven't done before. We're going to do this versus thing. Okay, so I'll take you around there in a minute, but we've got the Hobby Boss, obviously MiG-31 Foxhound, and we've got the AMK one, totally different manufacturers, one relatively new, one I wouldn't say they're old school, but they're getting there now. Two kits, so we're going to put them side by side. So you're going to have the original reviews, standalones, and a side-by-side comparison, which is something we're speaking about. The other thing we've been speaking about obviously a lot was when I mentioned about the way we might be doing the reviews next year, and some of you have pointed out some very valid points about being bogged down, and you didn't want me being bogged down doing a kit that really isn't going to go anywhere, which I can see your point of view to it. And I probably wouldn't be tackling things like big projects like the big 1/32 stuff, because it would take too long to put together for very little benefit at the end of the day. So no, we're not going to be chucking together like a Tamiya Mozzie and, you know, the big stuff. I was thinking more of the small stuff where we could just pop it together like the 1/72 stuff we've done, and I could almost do it as a one-day build as well, just to show you guys how it goes together. But something that did come about this one, and a couple of you have mentioned as well, and I happen to agree with, is that perhaps doing more of a quicker build system, so a lot more out of the box, so then that way people can make their own decisions on, okay, well that's how it is out of the box, that makes a pretty good kit, and then obviously I can then point out where I would do changes to it. So I could then turn around and say, it's great, but I'd love to put in, like we spoke about yesterday, aftermarket seat, resin wheels, and things like that, to sort of update it, so that way you still get all the bits of it, okay, and all the build, and obviously all the paint work and weathering and everything else like that. So it is more of a concise overall build. Okay, so take perhaps some of those more key models that have just been released and are coming out, and we can say, right, okay, let's get it in, let's build it out of the box, like the Tamiya and the you know, the AMK Tomcats and things like that. So we can actually see, right, okay, well, out of the box, pretty good, you know, and then we can make the decisions like that. So yeah, I think it's just weighing up the balances between, you know, time spent effectively, and as I say, I'm very limited on time spent at the bench as it is. So yeah, I agree with a lot of what people have said, that yeah, it sounds great, but the reality is, am I just going to get bogged down doing reviews and not actually on with the full builds? Okay, and obviously that's what we want to do. So I'm thinking perhaps we will strike the balance, perhaps we'll do more of straightforward out of the box builds, which are a review as well. So when these latest kits drop, like the Russian Foxhound, things like that, just whack it together straight out of the box, and then that way people then can decide on, is it a good kit, is it a bad kit, because you will see me as I build it point it out that actually this is horrendous fits issues, it doesn't work well, it needs a lot of work in this area, and then you guys can make a decision on if it's a worthy kit to you spending your time on, or is it going to have to be another kit, you know, and then that way when we do the verses you can see the differences between the two. But as I say, at the moment, and next year, as I said, we've got a lot of big changes happening. Hopefully all for the best, and things like that, and I don't want to give too much away at the moment, but obviously a lot of this is going to be live. Okay, there's going to be a lot more interaction, okay, in a big way. And I know a lot of you know I'm very much into my VR and virtual, and you know, the system we've got here and everything else like that. No, it's not going to be quite into VR yet. You're not going to get like my view of the world through VR and all the rest of it, but certainly there is going to be a lot more sort of 360 stuff, so you can look around the studio. We're going to have you know, to be honest, what I've got coming in now is 4 360 cameras which are going to be dotted around the studio. You'll be able to choose your feeds from, things like that, and all those types of different scenarios. So you know, hopefully the angles won't be as bad as they have been in the past, things like that. You know, obviously I've got new equipment coming for here, for this part of it, so I don't have to do that thing of looking at my phone as well. And to be honest, I was hoping it was going to be in today, but I've just had the delivery note updated to give me an hour's time slot. It's not going to be in between until 3 and 4, so the chances are it won't be here today. I did want to show you it and show you the setup, so probably by Monday it'll be in a position. But what this will enable us then is we've got some big 34 inch curved monitors coming, so we're going to have basically them in here, and in here as well. So then that way the guys who are doing the show with me as well will be able to see it and read it and everything else. So it's not like I'm peering around the corner or looking at what these I've got here are 27-inch ones a million miles away. They're going to be a lot closer, and then we can take one of these monitors, for instance, and I can put it right under the camera, things like that. So that way, you know, it's no longer squinting to try and read stuff and various pictures and things like that, and I'm sort of leaning around corners. I want to get rid of all of that and make this a lot more streamlined, faster, better, and everything else like that. So one thing I do want to mention here is Darren. He's naughty. He's very, very naughty. Is that just paperwork? Yeah. Anyway, Darren Anderson, when we did the Hind review a couple of weeks ago, I've mentioned obviously that they're pretty much sold out everywhere and everything else. And Darren sent me a nice email saying, I'm going to send you one as a present. And I was like, no, honestly, it's something I'm not going to have time to build it. And, you know, obviously fine. And he pointed out that he's got quite a few. I'm not going to say how many you have, but he had a few there. So he wanted to send one. Then he said about obviously send one for Snap then, for an auction, and we'll do things like that. And I was like, right, okay, go on then, you've sold me if it's for Snap and everything else. So anyway, you're very, very naughty. So just down in here we have this little box, and this is it. So Darren, you're very, very naughty, because not only has he sent also some patches, which he does know me quite well, because I do collect patches as well, so that's fantastic. And I know some of the guys, and we've got a few there as well. All right, so thank you very much there for the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department. But we've got one for Snap. And then, as I said, he is very, very bad, because he's done one for you. Thank you very much. That is lovely. Thank you, Darren. That's very, very kind of you, and very, very kind to Snap. And he didn't stop there either, because also he's also sent me some stuff for the A10 build as well. So this is the resin engines for it, the more detailed, nicer ones than the ones you get in the kit. And also we've got a cockpit down there for the A10A as well, which is the Legend one, which again is really hard to find over here, and everything else. And I don't think you've actually put a letter in there, Darren. You're very, very naughty. But thank you very much for that. That is very much appreciated. So over here, you can see, this is literally the fallout from when I do a review. You can see behind the scenes now of how bad it is. Literally, it's just chucked everywhere. So we've got both of those kits. So we've got that nice AMK one. We're going to get that one out, but then we're going to get out the Foxhounds, and we're going to literally put them down under the microscope, so to speak, side by side, each part, and then compare them in turn. And then we're going to look at how the fit goes together and how it looks. And obviously we're still going on impressions of what it's looking like. We've not built this, we don't know. I know loads of you I know have built this guy. I don't know anyone who's built that one yet, but you've all said this thing is a dream and a beautiful fit. And to be honest, it looked it. Okay, and looking at your work on the forum and stuff, it looks a beautiful kit, and that's why, you know, to be honest, I'm building that one. Okay, but what we're going to do is do a side by side and literally have a proper look at it, and that will go for a few kits we've got coming out now. So I said we've got the flanker over the back there. I've got the Academy one upstairs, so we're going to do a side by side of that. As soon as the AMK, which we're not sure when it's going to drop yet, a lot of people are sort of speculating that it's going to be next year, but we're going to be doing the AMK Tomcat alongside the Tamiya Tomcat, which is down the back there. And we're going to be doing a lot more of those. So anyway, catch me a little bit later and we'll see how we're getting on. So I must admit, really busy day today reviewing this guy, okay? And then we've done the on test, which to be honest, was a complete mess everywhere trying to do it. I don't know exactly how well it's worked. To be honest, haven't finished editing it yet. It's probably going to finish it later on today, and then I'll hopefully be up over the weekend with you. If not, I'll be up with you on Monday. The whole point of doing it is to show you side by side the sprues, but sometimes, as we know here, my LED lighting, it's brilliant, but it's very hard to get a shadow sometimes. So when you're trying to show details, it's a little bit too good because there's no shadows. So I was trying to show you the contrast difference between the over detailed surface texture on the AMK kit compared to the very refined and very delicate surface textures that are actually on the Hobby Boss kit. So when you're lining both up together trying to do it, it is a little bit troublesome, and trying to get some of the angles and things like that again, and showing parts that are identical, because the part layout is completely different on both kits. Yes, they got that sort of top thing going on and all the rest of it, but apart from that, it's pretty much different. That said, to be honest, if you're going to go out and buy one, you know, a bit of a spoiler alert, this is going to be your choice. But The surface detail on the Hobby Boss kit is far superior to what I think is on the AMK. The AMK I think is a little bit overdone, it's a little bit too deep, it's a little bit trench-like, the riveting's very much overdone. To be honest, very similar to what Trumpeter used to be and Hobby Boss a few years ago. If you go back sort of, you know, 6-7 years, they're at the same level. That said though, that's the only down point really to the AMK kit. It's got the engine, it's got all the control surfaces, it's got far superior details everywhere, and generally the way that the actual AMK kit goes together as well is far superior to the Hobby Boss one. But anyway, it is for you to make up your mind. It's your kit, and at the end of the day it will be your decision. But go off and have a look at the review on this one. As I said, it's well worth having a look at it, and then have another look back at perhaps the AMK one, and then on Monday I'll put up the side-by-side together, and that way you can have a proper look yourself and see how you get on that one. So again, thank you to all the kind comments and feedback I continue to get. Honestly, stop now. I spend my life doing emails and weird things and catching up with you all and things like that. The weird thing is I've got nothing on the go at the moment, which is the first time I think in 10 years that I haven't got anything here to show, because everything's completed and done, and everything else like that. The good news is certain Gundam, the car kit, is back again. Okay, so I bought another one and it's turned up. Well, I presume it's in that box over there. So that I will then get back on it, because I've still got the sprues and the various bits from the old one. As I say, it didn't end nicely for the original one, shall we say. But I've still got all the sprues from it, so I won't have to repaint them all on the sprue and things like that. So we're going to get that done. Anyway, it's Friday, a couple of things to catch up on. First of all, well done to everybody who finished the Must Be British SIG. That was anything that was ever British made. That one finished the other week. I will get that video done this week. To be honest, I've got to do Sid's wedding video. I haven't even had a chance to do that one yet. So I'm going to get that edited, and then I'm going to do that one straight after it. So I might get around to that one over the weekend, but it will definitely be up with you next week. So if you did complete and you had a final reveal photos up in that one, look out for that one. I'll get that one up to you next week. We've got the basically two SIGs and group builds that are going on at the moment. So actually we've got the Meet My Metal SIG that's going on at the moment. That's going to finish on Christmas Eve, December the 24th. So you've got a pretty good run on that one still to go. And the big in Japan, which is I think going to be our best ever group build to date, judging by the amount of entries and completions we got going on with this one, is doing really well. And you've got until the 18th of December on that one as well. So a few days before. So you've still got plenty of time to get going with those. But just remember, push through with them, because obviously it'd be great if you can get your medals, your goodies, your bits and pieces. I don't know if you're the only one who's seen these. This will be something else. You know, we normally do the big ones. We have the bigger badges. Well, we meant, which are, hey, look, just so happens I have one here. This is the one that goes out, which is the black medal, which is the black badge, which goes with the medals. So, you know, you can then spot each other at shows and things. We've also had done 500 of these guys, which are little pin badge type ones as well, which then can go a bit more not in the way as perhaps one of these, shall we say. So we got those done as well, so you'll be able to get those. We're going to be giving those out at Telford to members as well. Not sure exactly what we're doing yet, but there may be a little something for members as always. Pop along to the stand and we'll sort you out just like that. Okay, so yeah, so we got that one going on, and then obviously the next thing up for us is going to be the Thanksgiving shoot, which is basically going to be 24th of November to the so yeah, just under a month to the 27th of November, so it's 4 days. Now the idea being behind this one is we're going to live stream pretty much all of it. The idea is, because it's Thanksgiving, it'll be a holiday obviously in the US, not so much for the rest of us, but you guys get a bit of a holiday. So Hans, Steve and me, we're going to do lots of live work. So we're going to be sitting here building whatever it is. I haven't even decided what I'm going to do yet. I might do an ISO container, make it nice and easy. No, I won't, I'll do something else. But it will be something substantial, and the idea is you've got 4 days from start to finish to do it, and then we're going to make it really live, very interactive. We're going to be on YouTube streaming live, all the bits and pieces as always. You can talk to us in the forum direct, and any questions and that, just post them up and we'll get around to them as we normally do on any other live show. But it's said, it's going to be that thing. We'll set up probably 4-hour stints, maybe one in the morning, maybe one in the evening, or in the afternoon, and then one in the evening or whatever. But there'll be sort of 4-hour blocks here, there and everywhere with us all doing this one. And obviously you can watch it as a catch up and join in. We'd love to see yours, post up your photos and stuff like that. There may even be a way of you sending us videos and stuff as well that we can show and put up as well. So it'd be great if you want to join in with us and be really interactive like that. So we've got lots of things of that one going up. And that is about it for this week. I must say, you know, obviously to Mig and Elizabeth, we're all thinking about you. We know it's a really tough time at the moment, but take some time off, be there for each other. Always a good one. But anyway, that is it for this week. So what I'm going to do is leave you with your fantastic work from this week's gallery.
I'm wasted, my heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing, keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And forever I'll follow, you'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. Forever I'll follow, you'll be my holy ground. You forever